guys. Hello, hello, hello. So it's race day today. And first, what we need to do is go and do a bike registration. Moving. And I see some guys are already registered. They got their cap numbers and they're looking cool. So, and I think I'm lost. I think I've gone the wrong way. I'm following somebody else. They probably are not going the right way either. Okay, but the main thing today is to get to race registration. So I'll let you know how that goes in a moment. So I had hired an Airbnb not too far from the start of the race, and it didn't take me too long to actually get to the velodrome where the race actually started. And as I rode into the velodrome registration area, you could feel the buzz, you could feel the excitement of everybody just waiting to start the race. I actually managed to see a few familiar faces of people that I had met the night before. The race registration area was quite spartan, but it had all the important essentials. There was the check-in area to be able to provide your identification to verify that you are the correct rider for the event. Then there was an area to collect your race cap, as well as your brevet card that you would have to carry with you for the entire duration of the event. And then you went to an area to collect your tracker, and they gave you the opportunity to check that it was functional, that it was actually working. This was vital for the organizers to be able to monitor your progress along the route. There was a bike inspection area where they looked essentially at three things. Firstly, that the bicycle was mechanically quite sound. Secondly, that we had the appropriate lights attached to the bicycle. That was a white light in the front, as well as a red non-flashing rear light, and that we had backup lights for both the front and the back. And then thirdly, that we had adequate braking systems because we were expected to navigate some really steep descents during the course of the race. And then finally, there was an area where you could actually go and have your photograph taken. Interestingly enough, the photographs were taken in the original shower area of the Paris-Roubaix racetrack. And in this shower area, each of the winners of the preceding editions of the Paris-Roubaix race had their names embossed on the various shower cubicles. And that was really interesting to see. They had a set of professional photographers that took photographs of us in those showers with our clothes on, of course. But yeah, that was just an amazing experience to actually see the original showers where all these famous riders had previously visited. The number of riders at the registration area increased with the course of the day. I had the opportunity to meet one of my YouTube heroes. This is Sherry Bazalong, who has famously documented her experiences at previous editions of the TransContinental Race. There was an atmosphere of excitement and anxiety at the race registration. However, chatting to some of the other riders at the race registration helped the time to pass really quickly. And before we knew it, it was 5 p.m. Time for the race debrief at the indoor velodrome at the Paris-Roubaix Center. Here the organizers went through the list of rules that we had to follow for the entire duration of the race and gave us updates as to the changes related to the various mandatory parcours that we had to follow during the course of the race. So I'm at the start of the TransContinental Race. It's here in Roubaix, and you can see all the riders are gathering at the approach to the velodrome. They're going to take us in groups and get us to ride around the velodrome, do one lap and then exit, and that's going to be the start of our ride. Apparently the first 12.5 kilometers of the race is going to be neutralized as we try to get out of the city. Christoph Strauser and Christoph Allegero are going to set the pace so that everybody gets out of here safely, and once they indicate the race is on, then the front runners are going to just bomb it away. I know there are some South Africans here, so I went looking for them, and I just basically rode around slowly around all the groups of riders until I heard some South African accents, and then I went to meet them. And so yeah, so I finally have caught up with these South Africans. I met a guy from Switzerland. My dad's from Guinea. He lives in Switzerland with his Swiss mom, and so yeah, it was nice to actually talking to him. He's done it twice, as have the South African guys. They've done it twice as well. Anxious as ever, but at the same time, now there's nothing else. I've just got to get out there and actually enjoy the event. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to talk to you again for a very, very long time, because I'm going to have to keep both hands on the handlebars. So I'll let you know how things work out. Some interesting facts about the Paris-Roubaix Outdoor Velodrome. The velodrome is exactly 500 meters in circumference and was built in the year 1936. It is currently open to the public, and if you are in the area, you are welcome to either visit it or ride on the track at any time. You will notice that all the riders in this race are fully self-sufficient. This means that they have to carry all their clothing as well as spares for the entire duration of the event. The TransContinental Race does not have a drop bag facility. This means that you do not have the option to leave any unnecessary or unwanted clothing or equipment at the start of the race, and neither are you allowed to collect any of this along the course of the race. So this essentially means that I had to leave all my clothing and equipment that I was not prepared to take with me during the race at the Airbnb in Roubaix. An interesting rule with regards to the race is that in the interest of fairness and equality, no rider may receive any outside help during the course of the event. Now, this differs from the randoneering events where you are able to receive assistance from other riders or other participants in the same event. In the TransContinental, you're not allowed to receive any assistance from anybody, including other riders and participants in the TransContinental. This assistance may extend from drafting, providing equipment, clothing, food, water, but even just companionship. You're not allowed to ride with another rider for an extended period of time, as this may constitute an unfair advantage in the race because of all the psychological benefits of riding with other people, and so if you do so, you will be disqualified. However, for the first 12.5 kilometers of the race, these rules did not apply because the race was neutralized for this section of the race. Where are you from?
Ireland.
Ireland, okay.
And yourself?
South Africa.
Oh, it's a long... Did you cycle here, did you? It's a warm-up to your training. Whereabouts in South Africa?
Oh, no, but actually, I live in Canada now.
Oh,
yeah.
Love Canada.
Yeah.
And the west side, Vancouver, or over the other side?
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. If you could pick anywhere in Canada, why would you pick there?
I've been there. It's nice.
You've been to Saskatchewan?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
You got Banff.
I was a kid.
Alberta.
And my parents bought me a rabbit skin.
Okay.
And
I'll wait for you.
we named it after the town. And we named it Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
The rabbit skin.
Oh.
It was like a kid's blanket.
Oh, cool. Yes. Well, not many people know Saskatchewan. So. Darkness fell upon us pretty quickly after this point. However, this is the exact same route that I had reconnaissanced in the first video of this series. Please have a look at that video if you want to see what the parkour looks like, but otherwise I'll catch up with you again once I get to my first rest stop, which is the city of Brussels. We rode for about 4 hours to reach the end of the first mandatory parkour in Gerardsbergen, and then rode for a further 2 hours to the city of Brussels in Belgium. So I've just stopped in Brussels, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I found a place that was open, and I quickly just try to get some food into me. The first place I could find that's open in the entire distance that I've come so far. So yeah, that is a bit of a tricky situation. Some guy tried to ask me for something. I'm not exactly sure, but I just politely tried to diffuse the situation.
No.
Sorry, my friend. Okay. Gracias. And once I had managed to get myself out of that situation, I quickly tried to navigate my way back to the course that I had set out to be able to take me from Brussels all the way to Maastricht. Okay, so anyway, so this is Brussels. I've got some food in. I'm going to try and find the route again. Speak to you again soon. Okay, bye. It was upon leaving Brussels that my woes of navigation began. Many of the routes that I had meticulously planned in Ride with GPS were incorrect. Many of them were either roads that were closed or closed due to construction, or there were detours or deviations that I didn't know where they were going to take me. So once again, I lost a lot of time trying to navigate my way from Brussels to Maastricht. At daybreak, I crossed the bridge over the Trekweg Canal, which formed the boundary between Belgium and the Netherlands. I think this is the bridge between the Netherlands and Belgium. Just by guess, I haven't seen an official sign, but in the Schengen they don't have any official borders. So I just assume this must be the demarcation, because we're very close now to Maastricht, having just left Leuven. It's almost time for breakfast. Hopefully going to try and grab some breakfast in Maastricht. Speak to you again. I then followed some cobbled streets through the beautiful city of Maastricht to eventually find myself in the city center, which they call the marketplace or market square. However, it was just 7 o'clock in the morning and everything was still closed. There wasn't a single shop or winkel that was open to be able to buy some refreshments. So I just had to keep pushing on, hoping to find some place to have something to eat a bit later in the day. The city center was almost completely deserted apart from the service trucks delivering food early in the morning and the garbage disposal trucks taking away the rubbish from the evening before. I continued through the city center, just enjoying the quiet of the morning. I then crossed the Wilhelminabrug or Wilhelmina Bridge, which crossed the Meuse River, which ran through the center of Maastricht. To my right, I could see the St. Servus Bridge, which is one of the oldest bridges in the city, being constructed in 1280 AD, and currently is a cycle and pedestrian bridge only. I think that's one of the old historical bridges in the background. I can't remember the name, but I know that one of all the arches there is a very historical bridge. Oh, okay. If you know what it is called, just please put it in the comments. Yeah, but I meant to remember that name, but it's just slipped my mind. It's been a long night. It was only once I had begun to exit the eastern front of the city that I eventually found the first shop that was open, and this was an Albert Heijn mini supermarket, which was located or at least associated with a BP gas station or petrol garage. They serve the most delicious pastries and hot chocolate and hot coffee, and I just indulged myself, tried to replenish as much as I could and have a bit of a sit down and rest before heading off further east. Immediately east of Maastricht was the town of Valkenburg. Now this is a historical city which is famous for the ruins of the Valkenburg Castle, which itself was built in the 12th century. Now as I rode along the route, I could see that some of the ruins within the town, whether they from the castle or just from some of the older buildings, had been repurposed for modern habitation, and it looks as though people had actually converted some of the ruins into little apartments or houses and were actually living there. It was a really beautiful scene, and I just really enjoyed riding through this part of the Netherlands. Now, there are no official borders within the Schengen zone, and there's no real indication of when you're actually leaving one country and entering another country. However, what I noticed was that as the architecture changed, as well as the language on some of the road signs changed, this indicated to me that I had left the Netherlands and had entered into Germany. So I finally got to the Rhine River, and this is the Rhine River Valley in the city of Bonn. Bonn is known for being the birthplace of Beethoven, and it's an absolutely stunning place. Yeah. So what I had was I met a fellow cyclist. His name is Alex. He's a PhD student looking at the physics of how particles of light attach to the surfaces of objects, which is like something super complicated, which I know nothing about. And he's on his way to a conference in Mainz, which is a town further down the Rhine, and I'm riding in the same direction. So I said I don't want to hold him up, he's got to go ahead, and so he's further up ahead. And yeah, so got some food into me, had 2 drinks, and all set now for the ride. Looking forward to it, and yeah, it's just a great day to be outside. As I rode my bicycle further south from Bonn along the banks of the River Rhine, I noticed 2 important things. One was that there were multiple castles perched on the high points of the riverbank all the way down the river. And secondly, that there were multiple agricultural projects along the riverbanks, and they looked like vineyards as well as orchards. They were so well maintained and they were just so green. It was just an absolutely fabulous sight. I passed through the historical towns of Kolbenz and Beauport, which were both characterized by these beautiful spires of the historical buildings within the towns. I eventually ended up in the town of Sankt-Gau, which was going to be my overnight stop for the first time in this race. This is an amazing place with castles, multiple castles on the hills, old historical buildings. Just too stunning, just so beautiful, and the river just constantly flows through it as well. It's just stunning. But I am exhausted now, so mentally exhausted. Didn't have a chance to have my normal sleep at 400 kilometers, so I'm totally knackered. At least the legs are not too bad. I've had a workout, but they're not completely shattered. It's just I'm tired. I'm making lots of silly mistakes. Can't redirect myself when I get a detour. Make a lot of mistakes, lose a lot of time. So I've just gone to get some food, and I've got a hotel room. They've allowed me to lock my bike in their bike garage, so hopefully it's going to be safe. I can of course leave at any time that I want to, so that's going to make life a lot easier. Just find out if the bar is open. Doesn't look like it. Looks like there's a bar. No, it's okay. No bar. No way. Okay. I have a wash, and I need to wash these clothing, and I need to sleep really quickly after that. So I'll see if I can get all of those things done in the short time that I have here. Okay, I'll speak to you again soon. I'm gonna find my room now. Join me in the next video as I realize that my time available to reach the first checkpoint is running out really quickly, and I struggle with navigation to try to get to that checkpoint.